Hey guys, welcome back. Appreciate y'all tuning in. First thing I got to start asking is please hit the subscribe button. Over 99% of our viewers are not subscribed. So please hit the subscribe and a thumbs up for me. It really helps us out. Keeps us really motivated to keep doing more videos and bringing you more content. So what I wanted to cover today is a garage or a shop setup. Now, if you've already got your setup, you know all this probably. But if you don't, and it's something you've been thinking about, I want to just kind of bring some things to your attention, some things that you might want to think of first, that you might want to have in your shop. So I'm kind of going to go around here. Everybody, of course, is going to be a little bit different because the things that we do might be a little bit different. But some of the basic things that we're going to kind of focus on are things that everybody really is going to need, no matter what kind of projects or what things that you do in your garage or what kind of repairs or whatever. So the first thing, in my opinion, the absolute number one thing that you got to have is you got to have a good workbench. So it's simple and fairly inexpensive to build. I've built all of mine in the past. In fact, this is the only one I've ever bought, because I just kind of needed a small one with drawers that was fairly inexpensive. So I picked this one up at Harbor Freight for like 120 bucks. It's but for 120 bucks, kind of what you get. But back to this one. This is my workhorse. I've built a few workbenches in my life. They last pretty much forever. So I built one out of an old door, a solid core door. That's really important that it's solid core. It had smooth laminated surfaces on both sides. It was an awesome workbench. So that's one that I had that I built in the past. This is one I built probably 8-9 years ago. It's got 4x4 legs on it. The top is just built out of 2x12s. So it's just super solid. Now in this garage, I actually shortened the depth of it a little bit because I wanted to keep it out of the way. Since we built the extra large garage, we can still get both vehicles in here with this workbench. So I did cut about 12 inches off of it when we moved in here, just so we could keep it tucked back against this wall and out of the way of the garage door. So good workbench, good solid workbench is number one. You're going to do so much stuff on this workbench. It's not even describable, all the stuff you'll end up doing on this thing. For me, the very most important tool in a shop has got to be a good vise. I've had a couple of different vices over the years. Typically the most common one that you're going to see is a little 4-inch. The little 4-inches struggle getting a 2x4 in them. It really gets it right to the ends of the threads as you're screwing it out. You're going to get right to the end of the threads with it. And I work a lot with 2x4s. Sometimes I can't set them on end to get them in. So having the extra large vise is super nice. This is a Yoast 455. I've had it for several years now. I cannot remember. I believe it's a 5-inch vise if I remember correctly. But I would definitely get something bigger than 4-inch, unless you just don't work with anything that large, even 2x4s. But for the most part, I would go with one that's a little bit bigger if you've got the budget for it. They're not super cheap, but do buy a good vise too. I've seen a lot of broken vices in my day. It's mostly because people buy these junky little vices. They end up, getting the arms here bent. They end up getting, broken pieces off of them. Just really, really junk. So a vise, to me, that's the most used tool in the garage. Use it for everything. So the second most used thing in my garage is having a good grinder. Now I use grinder all the time, maybe as much as the vise even. And like I said at the very beginning, everybody's work may be a little bit different, so you may use something more than another, but for me, these two items are absolute necessities in a garage. Well, excuse me, three now because we got Workbench. But Vise, Workbench, grinder, these three things are things that just get used all the time. Whether you're just deburring a piece of metal, sharpening a blade on something. You know, I use it to grind wood often, where I might need to, you know, flatten a side of a piece of wood or something that's, you know, like a rounded piece, or just all over the board. Use these things all the time. Try to make sure you don't get underpowered on these, because this is another area where if you get a cheap one, you're going to be disappointed because it's not going to have enough power. So you'll end up having a situation where it bogs down all the time. So that's one reason I ended up coming back getting this 8-inch. This is a Win 4280. It is super powerful. It has not only a light, but it has an adjustment knob, so you can adjust your speed up and down. Also comes with a wheel cleaner. Those are the three top things that, in my opinion, you just have got to have in a garage. Tool storage would be the next thing that you got to have. You got to properly store your tools somehow. Getting some sort of mechanic's toolbox is important. You don't have to get a monster like this. You know, this was many years in the works before I could get one of these. But even if you get a smaller one, you can get some that are probably $150, $200. Harbor Freight actually offers a pretty good toolbox for, I think, the $150, $200 mark. That's what I had for years. The one I had, I think, was $300. Is a little bit bigger, is about yay big, but I used it for years. It was a great toolbox for me. So that also is the next important piece. You know, any kind of storage that you can get around the shop is good. When we built this house, one of the things I wanted for sure was to get the cabinets around the room. At the old house in that garage, I also had cabinets on one wall, but in this one I did want to get the nicer cabinets, so I went with steel cabinets this time instead of a wood cabinet. Another thing that I use a lot is my air compressor. Now this is not a great big one. This is a Cobalt 20 gallon that you can get over at Lowe's. That thing, we use it all the time, whether we're airing up tires, whether we're blowing something off, something like that. We're constantly using this air compressor. So for me, those are the key things that you just got to have in a good garage or a small shop. There's so many more things that we've got in here and that you need to have too. But the other things start to get a little bit more individualized depending on what type of work that you do in your garage or shop. But for me, those four items have to be a necessity. So we'll end it right there. Just kind of a quick one to kind of give you a quick overview for someone that's, again, new, putting a shop together, just trying to give you some ideas of things that you might need or want in your shop or garage. But these are the necessities for me anyway, and I think you'll find for you as well. So anyway, we appreciate everybody joining. And again, please hit that thumbs up and subscribe. We appreciate everyone that does that, and we'll keep bringing you content here. Thank you so much for joining us here on Dad's Garage.